So what did he do? The Bible said David was greatly distressed because the people spoke of stoning him. Now listen, he wasn't that uptight because of his enemies. He's really destroyed because of those who said, we're your friends. Oh, no, y'all don't get it. See, you can always fight any enemy as long as you have somebody on your side. So when Satan comes and says, oh, no, I'm going to remove who's on your side. And the folk that know your weaknesses, the folk that know your heart, when they turn on you, what do you do now, David? The Bible said a couple of them went bad. You have no idea what all looks like. They were all embittered, each man for his sons and daughters. But David felt this is the message on what? Strength. David felt strength, and he felt encouraged in the Lord. David encouraged himself. Since I have no one left but me, and I know I've been listening to you, God, and all these jokers, I'm hurting for them. I performed all their weddings, and I went to all their christenings. I helped nurse and bring their children. Lord, they don't understand. I would rather be dead myself. Why don't you kill me? God said, instead of killing you, I need to strengthen you. Well, there is no one that's going to strengthen me because all of them are gone. So now you have to encourage yourself. Well, that's a good amen moment right there. But there's one question that nobody ever asks. No one ever thinks about, that I've never heard even raised in church. And every time I would bring it up, it would be just a whole lot of different conversations, and there was never a specific way to do it. So the reason most of us in here tonight are never really encouraged is because when you need courage, you need someone else that's strengthened to encourage you. And Satan sometimes so fixes it that everybody that could help you is gone. They can't answer the phone. They don't pick up. They don't answer emails. They don't text back. They don't show up. They don't surprise you. They are gone. And there's only one person left to get you out of your mess. That's you. Raise your hand and say, God, I'm still here. If your hand is up right now, I don't care what you're going through, you have the strength to come back out of that thing. You can put that hand back down. If you could not lift your hand, there's no way you can lift yourself. But if you just lifted your hand, you have the strength to get out of it. Stop depending and putting down other folk because they didn't show up at your pity party. They didn't come to help you out. God said this time you're going to have to prove who you say I am. This time you will. So let's answer the question. Don't get me say, don't, not tonight. Let me sit and leave me alone. So how do we answer the question? What is the question? The question is, and don't turn me down, get me right. The question is, how do we encourage ourselves? That's what you really want to know. Here's the answer. The same way you encourage other people when they're down. Now we're about to push this thing. If some of you have never encouraged anybody, that's why you're lost when it's time to encourage yourself. Because if you've never encouraged anybody, all you've ever done is talk that talk, and you've never walked that walk. And so you want God to use you in ministry, and God can't even use you in yourself. Let's get down to some real cool facts here. The best way to encourage yourself is to just go back and repeat how you encourage others. How do you encourage other people? You build up their hope and you build up their faith. That's the answer. Let me talk it because it sounds like I'm preaching here in a minute. There was a time when I had to answer and counsel every single Christian that every issue came up, and I'm preached hard 3 or 4 or 5 times. And then issues come up and they come to me, and I had to figure out, I had to be counselor, I had to be dog catcher, I had to be husband, I had to be wife, I had to be child, I had to be the court, I had to be the judge, I had to be the mechanic, I had to be the technician, I had to be the electrician, anything you name, go to the pastor. And then it happened. Where am I stuff? All of them. Not the ones I didn't know. The ones I knew I could depend on. And I went to God and said, God, why? Well, because it's easy. You preached to them, but you didn't teach them how to get out of what you preached them into. You preached about the storm, but you didn't teach him about the storm. So how do you get people? How do you encourage yourself? Real easy. This is what I do. Now, I get a chair. I'm just going to tell you, this is what I do. And I talk to myself as if I was talking to somebody else that I'm helping out of a situation. Now, let's be real tonight. Let's be real tonight. Let's be real. I'll put my hand up first. How many of you feel important when people need you to help them? That's what need means. Need is the greatest compliment you can offer a person. When someone needs you, no, don't put your hand down. Look, folk looking around. I'm going to see if you're going to need. No, don't be afraid now. When someone needs you, that's probably one of the greatest compliments in your entire life. That means that they are submitting all of what they could possibly do with themselves into your hands. That's cool. So we all, okay, now you can put them down. We all feel important when somebody needs us. And when they need us, even if you don't know answers, sometimes you just go to talking. Well, you know, that's why these talk shows, these reality shows, these shows that feature people talking so much, they become so important because everybody feels great when it's time for you to pour into other people. So when I talk about encouraging yourself, put on your own show. I pull up a chair and I start talking to myself the way I would talk to someone else. And I would say, so how you doing? I'm all right. And I said, no, you're not being honest. Now, if you're all right, you wouldn't be talking. Now, I don't do this Facebook Live because you look stone crazy. I'm just telling you. And you can't try to do this in front of people. They'll call those people on you. You got to be all by yourself. And there's a couple of rooms in your house or in your life where it's just all by yourself. And I don't want to go into that. You sit yourself down. Get yourself something to drink. Pull up a donut. Give yourself a pastry. Get you some Chick-fil-A nuggets. Whatever your thing, get some donuts. It's just between you and who you're talking to. And when you start talking, you have to choose to reject discouragement and doubt. Let me show you, you start talking to yourself. Well, I just really don't think. No. Don't say you can't make it. Well, things just don't bring any doubt in this. Is we going to work it out by faith, or we're going to surrender? Now, I'm talking to myself because that's why I talk to you. Now, the problem problem with talking to people is once you give advice, even if it's financial, after the end of the advice is over, they expect you to come up with the cash. No, they'll let you talk for 45 minutes, and at the end, well, you know, is there anything you can do to help? I just talked to you 40. So you got to talk yourself out of it. Now, don't buy that. So we have to refuse to think that we can't make it. And instead, when we talk to ourselves like you would talk to a friend. Now, at this point, you may start wondering who your friends are. And occasionally, when I'm really struggling, I imagine someone going through the same exact issues. And then I'll ask myself, Rickie, what would you say to them? What would you say to them? Now, some people would ask me, what would I say? I'm not telling you. I don't tell people what I would say to me. I tell me what I would say to me. Then I do my best to follow the wisdom of God, and that God would give me, the wisdom that God would give me with that person. Because let me give you a thing I want you to write down. Before I ever start talking to people about anything, I always ask God, Lord, give me the wisdom to speak the words that I need to speak. I don't always have time to write down things, write them out in order, because people will go left while you're trying to go right. So I'll ask God, Lord, give me the wisdom. Give me the words to say. Write that down before you talk to anybody from now on. Ask God for wisdom. That also means yourself.